A few weeks ago, we went on vacation, and I was making it my mission to get out and do a little plein air painting. Now, I'm not that great at plein air painting, but it's about the whole process, right? So, I wanted to share some tips and tricks and tools with you that I used on this trip. So, stay tuned, and we'll learn about that next. So, if you're like me and you're an artist and you love collecting art supplies, it can be a problem, right? But it also can be really interesting because they make so many cool supplies in this day and age that there's just so many to choose from. So I wanted to highlight some of these tools that I've been using for plein air painting and see if maybe it is useful for you too. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. It's just kind of, I love to promote companies and small businesses that I love and that I utilize. So just know that right up front, I bought all this stuff with my own money. And hopefully you get something out of this. Okay, so this video has been in the works for quite a while, and I'm finally able to bring it to you. These are tools that I find really useful for painting outdoors. That's called plein air painting or urban sketching. You can buy these items or not. It depends on what your budget can provide you. You don't have to have these things in order to be able to paint outside. So these are just suggestions to you that you might find interesting or helpful. So let's get started. First, you're going to need paper. There are lots of watercolor sketchbooks on the market. There are some that are better than others, but you have lots of options, even small options to get started. So here I have 3 different examples of what you can get. Now, I really love Fabriano paper. This is a hot press paper, and as you can see, I've used it in some demos and things. But it's a block of paper. It is 5 by 7. So this is kind of the perfect paper to take with you if you want to do some kind of professional work. If you're just starting out or you just want to do some sketching, maybe this might be more costly for you than you'd want to do. But these are pretty handy, these little pads, and they're pretty durable. This, you can see I did a demo with this one, but this one I picked up at my local Hobby Lobby. This is Strathmore paper. It's a visual journal, and it is a 5.5 by 8 inch. And as you can see, you know, this is pretty nice because you can do landscape or portrait here, just like you can with this one. But this one is pretty handy, and this is what I took when I went camping here most recently, and I thought this was a pretty good little sketchbook to do some things in, and the paper is pretty durable, so I really liked that. Okay, so these are some sketchbooks by Handbook. You can find these, I think, on Amazon, probably at Dick Blick, and I've used it for my paint swatches. But what I love about this is that it's really long, so you could do a really long panoramic view if you wanted to. So for a while, this was what I did a lot of my painting in. Let's see, I'm not sure if this is the front or not. I did a lot of waiting in waiting rooms at one point, and so I always took this with me and did different things here. So it's pretty handy to take with you, and so I highly recommend getting something like this. Another handbook, sketchbook. Perfect. There are lots of different papers that you can use. You can cut your own. But let's get to brushes. Now, there are some brushes that I don't have, but I want to talk to you about how you can take your regular brushes with you and other brushes that are really handy. Now, these are really dirty. They've been in some of my pencil boxes, but these are water brushes. These are great to take with you. I took these to the UK with me, and all you have to do is squeeze this little guy and insert it into water and let it suck up the water, and you have automatic travel ready painting brushes. I love these and have used them a lot. And a lot of times I use these two in combination when I would be waiting in a waiting room or whatever. It truly makes waiting somewhere a lot more fun when you have some tools to take with you. So if you don't have water brushes, you can buy these just about anywhere now, and I've seen them. These were made in Japan, and these are by Kuretake Company Limited. I think these are Niji or Fiji brushes, but they make generic brands now that you can find in Hobby Lobby or any kind of art store like Michael's or anywhere like that. So say you have some nice brushes and you really want to take your brushes and you don't have a brush carrier. The last time I went, I took my nice brushes and my travel brushes. And this is a painting t-shirt material that I use when I watercolor to save on paper towels, and also I use it sometimes when I'm doing big paint jobs and murals. And you can buy a pack of this stuff at the paint store. I think I got mine at Sherwin-Williams, or if you have an old t-shirt, you can use that. So then you have your paper towels with you at all times. So when I went on vacation this time, I just took this because this is what I had. Sometimes I have brush holders that ruin my brush tips. So I would roll it up. So I'd roll up a brush and then bring in another brush, making sure that the bristles were pretty straight there, and just keep rolling, even my little brushes, roll it into it, and then just roll it up. And then I just inserted it in the bag that I had. And I had I have a little planner bag that I used that you'll see in a shot. That I just put these at the top of. They were pretty safe there, and it didn't bend any of my bristles. I had ordered a tool to use on my trip, but it didn't arrive in time. So this was a good makeshift way to do that. So I recommend definitely when you're plein air painting, taking something like this that is just a piece of fabric. And, you don't have to take a whole roll of paper towels with you to make it happen. So there are also brushes that, I don't have one here to show you, but there are brushes that are travel brushes, and they have a top that goes over the bristles to protect the bristles. And then when you paint, you take the top off and you put it on the bottom, and then you can paint. So your bristles are protected, and they make a smaller brush, and those are a great option as well. Okay, so let's talk about paint. There are a lot of different ways to travel with paint. So at the very basic, you can travel with a paint card. These are Beam paint cards, and it just has a dollop of paint on there. Great for travel. You can just stick this in your pocket even. And this is also another Beam paint card. If I can get it out of here. So there's lots of colors here. You aren't having to take a big bulky palette with you, and you can use this paint. As you can see, I've used it a little bit, and I really like the concept of this. A lot of watercolor companies will give you dot cards, and you can test out their colors that way. That's a great idea for when you're traveling, and maybe you're just traveling for a short amount of time. Be perfect. So there's one way to travel and to do plein air painting, is just stick this in your book bag or whatever bag that you have with you, and that will work. These again are another product by Beam, and you can learn more about her in this video here. I did a review of her paints, and I just love them. And these are in actual pieces of wood, where she gives you a little palette, and you could take this with you, wrap it up, and get on your way for painting. She also has little paint cubes as well. And when you buy paint cubes from her, she will give you one of these beeswax wrappers, which you can make yourself actually. You can do little search on the web if you're not clear how to do that. But these are great to continually rewrap items and save on waste. So as you can see, I have a bunch of paint cubes in here. I can just roll this up and it will stick together, keep my paint cubes together, and I can go on my way. Another thing that you could do if you went the route of beam paints is you could make your own little water receptacle or palette with one of these guys. Just by doing that. That's pretty lightweight and easy to do. So that's an idea for you too. And I can tell you the wrapper smells amazing. So that's an idea for you. You can see you could even take your favorite colors and rock and roll. So those are a couple of ideas for travel palettes. Now I got these palettes. They're handmade and they came from Korea. And I will leave all the links below for you. This is from the Urban Sketch Factory. This guy hand makes these. And you can see I had to put a piece of paper in mine because my orange paint that I made is just a mess. So, and I didn't let it dry actually before I closed it. So you can see these are really fabulous to put your favorite paint colors in. They're really tiny. They have a little palette mixing area here that you can mix your paints. As you can see, I didn't clean mine for this video. But I mean, look how tiny this is compared to a brush. That's teeny tiny. And these are perfect to travel with. And this gentleman makes these all by hand. They ship out really quick. And I think I've even done a review for his stuff on my Instagram channel. So I'll leave those links below if you are so inclined or interested. I make my own paint, so I like using my own paint in these to test them out. So I have a little something different in my painting arsenal. So, and if you're a person who really needs a little more paint than you're going to find here, this is a great set by Meeden. I have a big one as well, and I really love these because you can include, you're really only supposed to be able to include paint here, but I just fill it to the gills. And what's great about this is you have a little mixing area, and they fold up really nicely, and it can fit in a pocket as well or a backpack. Just as a tip, I've probably given this tip 100 times, but I like to put the paint, a little card with the paints that I have in my palette, so I can look at it and go, oh, hey, I want to use this color instead of this color, just to know what I've got. So that's a little tip. A lot of artists do that, but I think that's really handy. All right. So next we're going to kind of move to some porcelain palette options. You can find this guy probably anywhere. He's porcelain. I got mine at Hobby Lobby, and that was, it's pretty small, has a lot of little wells that you can mix paint in, and perfect for on the go. But if you need something a little smaller, this guy is a little teeny tiny palette. He's kind of perfect with these guys. I bought this off of Etsy, and it's a great little tool when I'm traveling. It also came with a brush rest, which I think my cat Lucy has used as a hockey puck through the house. So I'm not sure where it went off to, but I'll leave the link below for this guy too. Perfect little well to accompany one of these. And I have a series of these little guys. They nest in one another. I got them from Jackson's art supply, and there's about 6 of them, and I love them because I can stack them on one another. So if you have a small space that you're using, maybe you're using your lap, these are kind of handy too. All right. So next, this is a really awesome tool that I'm very excited to share with you, because this guy is pretty genius, and I'm going to include some footage that shows how I was using this guy. This is called, and I'm going to call it the Stablo, kind of like the Tableau. It's from a French company, and this is made specifically for plein air painting. And I have used this guy. He's very handy, and I'm excited to show you what it can do. So when I'm storing this guy, I store these little cutouts here to protect it because these are really thin, and I don't want to break them. Now you can buy these replacement parts from this company if you choose to, but you know, I'm trying to do preventative here. What's great about this guy is many things. So usually this will sit on your lap, and you can have your brushes, you know, maybe you're using specific brushes here, and you can tuck, you know, maybe your paper towel or your cloth in here. But you can insert these guys. See if I can squeeze this one in here with this brush in here. There we go. So this is a brush holder, pretty handy brush holder, and this holds your water. So that's really handy, and you can use these on the front. You can slide them into the sides here somewhere. You know, however you want to do this, you can do it. Super duper handy. But that's not all. What's really wonderful about this guy is that it's magnetic. Not only will it hold your brushes, it will hold your paint palette. So it's not sliding around everywhere. Amazing, right? And even these little guys, now they have some metal on them. Let's see, maybe I need to open it up here. But it can also kind of hold them in place. Maybe this one is a little bit better. It's got a, there you go. So it lightly kind of holds them in place, this guy's. There we go. But these are small enough to sit on this guy, and you can even have your little additional sitting on that guy, sitting on your lap with your water and your brushes. But one more thing to check out with this is you can take your sketchbook slide it right in there, and thus extend your work area, and all of this can sit on your lap, and you can draw and paint and get rolling. It's really a wonderful little system to take with you. It's really lightweight, and you can check them out on the Stablo website. You can even do that and add a little tilt to your canvas there. These are some great tools to get you outside and get to painting. Now I have one more thing to show you. This guy didn't arrive until after we went camping, but it was definitely worth the wait. This is a handmade item that I found on Etsy, and I just love this. The craftsmanship on it is amazing. So this is a brush roll plus some. So of course it didn't come with the brushes, but you can see how it holds all these brushes and also has this flap to protect your bristles of your brush. But that is not all. What also came with this was a palette and a little brush rest as well. And the company that makes this makes all of this. They do a lot of interesting palettes, and I definitely will include a link to where you can find them on Etsy. It is a company called Like Palitra, and let's see, I'll get that close up there. They have an Instagram presence as well, so you can check them out there. But this is a great roll, whether you make one yourself or you go to the experts. I mean, this is so expertly made. These are options for you when you want to go plein air painting. So also let's talk about water and how you carry your water. There are lots of ways that you can carry some of your tools. Often I have a water bottle with me with water, and so I just take a receptacle like this. This is a paint, it's actually a paint bucket, but I put water in there. You can see I have my little brush cleaner in there, and this fits into my little Stablo, so I hang that out there. If you have something smaller, that would work too. Just a skinnier cup. I think this guy even fits in there, and so I save a lot of plastic and glassware that I get with that's packaging for things, and that's always great to use as a water receptacle. And also for whenever I have pencil shavings or something and I need something that's portable, I actually use a pill bottle to put my pencil shavings in, and a lot of times I'll have my pencil sharpener in there, but you could tuck it in something like this or in a bag that you have. But this way you don't get shavings everywhere, and you can throw them away when the time is appropriate. Also, it never hurts to use a little pipette. You can use one of these to wet your paints, and it can travel really nicely in a container or with your pencils or brushes. So that's always handy to have on the road as well. Of course, you don't have to have all these things with you, but they do kind of make your life a little bit easier when you're traveling or when you are out and about and you want everything with you that you need. And, you know, if you have some tools and tricks of the trade that you like to use, go ahead and leave those in the comments below this video. I'm sure all of the folks that are watching it would find that helpful too, and I would love to hear from you. If you liked this video and you thought it was useful, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I release a video every week, and I'm just here sharing the creative vibes with you. So keep working, keep painting, keep drawing, keep being creative, and I will see you next time.